Look around this beautiful living world. You will find a vast range of amazing living organisms. But what does it mean to be alive? All living organisms share 5 basic properties: growth, reproduction, metabolism, consciousness, and heredity. Growth. All living organisms grow. Growth may be defined as an irreversible increase in size and mass. It occurs inside the living organisms, either due to increase in the number or size of the constituent cells in living organisms. Growth in unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms increase their number by cell division. In vitro cultures, increase in number of cells in the colony of bacteria occurs due to the division of a few bacterial cells taken in the start of the culture. Growth in multicellular organisms. There are 2 aspects of growth of multicellular organisms: cell division and cell enlargement. In cell division, the cells of the body divide to produce more cells, and hence growth of the organism occurs. While during cell enlargement, the cells of the body elongate to increase the size of the individual. Plant growth. Limited to certain body parts and tissues. There are regions called meristems. These regions are the sites of active growth in plants. Example: apical meristem is present at the tips of roots and shoots and cause increase in the length of the plant. Now, in case of trees, the thickness of the tree trunk keeps increasing every year. Growth in animals. Animal growth is not restricted to specific tissue or body part. All the parts of the animals show growth. Growth is limited. In animals, growth is seen only up to a certain age. Example: in human beings, growth of the body occurs till 18 to 19 years. Growth in non-living things. Non-living objects exhibit increase in mass sometimes. Hence, non-living objects also show growth. Growth in non-living things is due to accumulation of material on the surface. Example: sand mounds, boulder, etc. Growth alone, therefore, cannot be considered as a defining property of living organisms. Reproduction. Reproduction is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young one or ones, more or less similar to those of parents. For example, a hen lays eggs which develop into chicks similar to the hen. It helps the species to maintain its existence. If the organisms will not be able to produce their offsprings, one day all the organisms of that type will die. Hence, their species will get extinct. Reproduction is of 2 types. 1. Asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, which involves only one parent. Sexual reproduction, which involves 2 parents. Modes of asexual reproduction. Budding in yeast. A bud on the parent yeast cell develops into a new individual. Buds on the leaf margin of bryophyllum grow to produce new plants. In planaria, flatworms, we observe true regeneration. That is, a fragmented organism regenerates the lost part of its body and becomes a new organism. But reproduction alone, therefore, cannot be considered as a defining property of living organisms, because many living organisms, like mules, sterile worker bees, infertile couples, etc., cannot reproduce. Metabolism. It is the sum total of all the chemical reactions occurring within the living organisms. Substances like oxygen, water, food, etc. are taken in by the living organisms. These substances undergo metabolism to produce substances that are given out like carbon dioxide, urine, feces, etc. Biochemical reactions. The chemical reactions involved in metabolism are known as metabolic reactions or biochemical reactions. Biochemical reactions are of two types. 1. Anabolic reactions. These involve synthesis of a biomolecule and trapping of energy in it. Example: formation of carbohydrates in the cells is an anabolic process. 2. Catabolic reactions. These involve breakdown of a biomolecule and release of energy. Example: digestion of food involves a number of catabolic processes during which breakdown of various nutrients like carbohydrates, fats, etc. occurs by the action of digestive enzymes. Metabolism and living organisms. All living organisms are made of chemicals, and thousands of chemical reactions occur simultaneously in the living body. Metabolic reactions can be demonstrated outside the body, in vitro, in cultures in a cell-free system. Non-living bodies do not exhibit the process of metabolism. Hence, metabolism is a defining feature of the living beings, as it is shown by living bodies only. Consciousness. Consciousness is the ability of an organism to sense its surroundings. The changes in the environment that produce certain responses in the living organisms are called stimulus. Stimuli could be physical, example light, chemical, example scents, or biological, microbe. All living organisms respond to stimuli around them. Our sense organs: skin, eyes, ears, nose, tongue. These organs help in receiving these stimuli. Plants too respond to external factors like light, water, temperature, other organisms and pollutants. Touch. Photoperiod, which is the period of light, affects reproduction in plants. Some plants flower when they are subjected to longer photoperiods than others.